Hey, it's Drybear. Dark and Darker is coming back next week for an open playtest, a demo that everyone can log in and play as. So whether you were someone who tried out Dark and Darker over the holidays when it was available, super fun, or if you're someone that heard about the hype and wanted to try it out, or maybe you're hearing about it for the first time here, today we're going to talk about the details, timeframes, and requirements for the playtest, as well as some of the things they've been hinting at that may be new. As always, if you have any questions or comments for me, you'll find me live every day on twitch.tv/Drybear. Come by and say hi. If you haven't heard of Dark and Darker, it is this roguelike looter game that you go into an old style fantasy dungeon crawler. You'll jump into a randomly generated dungeon, crawl down, and there's loot to get, but it takes advantage of the permanent loot system that you'd see in games like Hitman Freelancer or in Escape from Tarkov, where you keep what you get out with, but if you die, you lose the items you have. And it's this kind of first person, somewhat indie. I mean, it's a studio with experience, but it is a new studio, and you go inside and you try to loot. Other players can fight you. It's PvP. You can group up. There's different classes. It's a class-based system. You can be a caster, a rogue, a barbarian. You can be all kinds of things. They've promised more classes to come as well. Throughout this, you'll find random monsters to fight that are varying strength, traps you can run into, different ways to die, and it's actually super fun to just jump in and try to take out other players or find what loot you can get, and when you exit the game, just like in Tarkov, you can take your loot and you can sell it. You can go to vendors and find ways to buy new loot. You get super awesome, high-quality loot from other players that escaped with it, bring it into a match, and then use it to dominate or lose it or steal it from someone else, which is pretty fun. Now, they had just posted about their next playtest. The playtest lasted inside of December, and then it closed out, and it's been closed ever since. But there's a new playtest coming up that you don't want to miss if you're interested in the game. And that is February 6th to February 13th, next week for Steam Next Fest. And they mentioned that they will have a playtest all week throughout the duration of the event. So February 6th to February 13th, there will be a demo that you can download on Steam to play the game, and it will have new features in it, new things going on, and it starts on these time frames in your region. So if you're any one of these regions here, you can see that it does start relatively early on the western side of the world, and then afternoon or evening on the eastern side of the world. But it will be available to play and to check out. Keep in mind that at the start of the playtest, a demo button will appear on the home page, on the store page for Dark and Darker. You'll need to download and launch the demo version, so it's not the same version that existed prior. And in order to participate in it, and we'll announce the exact ending times for the playtest later, but they have mentioned that it'll last the duration of Steam Next Fest, which goes through February 13th. They ran some community events with a riddle that people could solve, which would unlock new things, and the community went at it, and they conquered it. So we've unlocked some new stuff for the playtest. They've been unbelievably vague about everything, so we're not 100% sure on what's going in, but we do know that they've hinted at a solo boss portal, which means a random portal that'll appear. You'll be able to enter into it. You'll fight 1v1 against some kind of boss, and you'll get some kind of awesome loot for it. They've also, which seems to be unrelated, they've mentioned that the cave troll has awakened. Sometimes curiosity is best left unchecked, but it's too late now. I'm guessing that this is gonna just be a boss that exists on the level. So when you enter into the dungeon with the other players, there's going to be a cave troll walking around, Lord of the Rings style, and you just have to fight against him. And hopefully if you kill him, you get special loot or some kind of really cool reward that you can take with you, or a buff or something. Should be super fun. And I'm actually excited to see if they've made some content changes. There's some of the areas of the map that seemed a little abusable for the ranger or mage classes. They could sit on top and shoot. The rogues seemed like they were just doing a little bit too much damage, and maybe you had some situations where you couldn't play like the cleric or the barbarian. But in this case, I hope that they make some really cool updates. Maybe they have a new map. Maybe they have new content waiting for us. But if you've been waiting to play this game, make sure you're ready to go on February 6th at these times here. You can jump in the Discord if you're looking for other ways to check this information. They'll have more updates and announcements, but coming soon on Monday, you'll be able to play, and there's some new stuff coming along. So make sure you're there. As always, if you have any questions or comments for me, you'll find me live every day on twitch.tv/Drybear. Come by and say hi. If you enjoyed yourself today, leave a like down below. You can support me and my work on Patreon and view Patreon exclusive content, link in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.